plan and for you.
Much so-called they did say this time around the lesson plan got early, that was good.
See? Okay, so now what? Here, so I don't spill it. Put this over here. Or so, I don't want to spill it over here. What is this t-shirt? Who else? Or eats, where is this from?
I don't know.
You just have it?
I think my dad got us from somewhere.
Your dad is a chef, right?
He works at the bakery down downstairs, not in the little thing, but in the one over.
Oh, nearby?
A black a building apartment over. Yeah, it's a dim dim.
Oh. So you can- Interesting.
Yeah, during the pandemic, since all the places have to shut down, we got those little desserts.
You gonna send me?
Yeah, I need to.
Get these work. Yes. Tomorrow, the art museum, Art Next Door is doing a big celebration all night long. If you're here like 6 o'clock, I know you're probably not.
I'll be here till like 5 or 6 over. I'll still
They'll have a lot of food, but they're celebrating all the seniors are having their art exhibits open.
I sent it to you.
Should have a second one.
It's on Monday when my mom went to the library to pick up this book. It's actually the same book.
Looks brand new.
It's the same book of that other book.
Yeah.
Same idea. Just less words.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was the same idea as less word.
Wow.
But I ended
Much
up reading
nicer.
the other one
Mm-hmm.
because that was the one I had. Yeah, it had questions.
Wow, that's cool. So it was a different addition to it. They rewrote it.
This one is so-called is that 1 or 2 sentences less than that one,
Well,
and
that would make more sense for like 3-year-olds.
then have those questions here.
Yeah,
It seems like if I had this one,
that would have been nice.
even though that so-called when I was so-called showing the pages, you saw that I was kind of waiting.
For everything to catch up.
No, so-called I said what I did was what did I do? I asked them what was today, and then one of the kids didn't know that day was Earth Day. Yeah.
So that was good that you talked about it then.
Yeah. And then I said, then we're gonna read this book, and then I asked them about kind of like kind of about the pictures and stuff in the book, and then it seems like I was pausing a bit too much. like showing the pictures and then pausing for a little bit too long.
Why do you think that?
But
Did the kids look at you like, what's wrong with you, or
um
what made you think?
because what I did was I read the book. I was reading it and now showing the pictures, the pictures, and then asking so this the manatee and stuff.
Yeah. That sounds like the right way to interact with the kids. That's why I'm saying.
And this
Why did
one,
you
it
think?
didn't say her name. That's what
Oh, okay.
I was struggling when it was her little name. But
Oh,
to
you could have made up her name.
the Trina or something.
Oh, okay.
But this one said just hi, I'm on Earth instead.
Oh, okay.
So
This is the second edition of that book.
it's that same book, but a different name.
Hmm.
It's a learner version.
Oh, for school application.
I think so.
Okay, so what do we got? What is this that you sent me?
It's that lesson plan thing.
Okay.
We're doing the
What
reflection.
is all the yellow?
Huh?
What is the yellow? What is it? This is what you just sent me.
Yeah. We're working in the reflections last
That's
page.
what I thought. Was this just an extra note that was at the top of the page?
But the thing I sent you is the lesson plan.
Lesson plan, right.
It's the completed
And this
thing.
is what you sent in to your teacher?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I had everything finished this past Sunday.
You sent it in on Sunday? I thought you were ready to send it in last Thursday.
I just had to do some minor revisions and stuff, and then
You did?
I just had make sure I had everything this past Sunday, and then I sent it over to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. At least you had it 2 days before. Much better. Okay.
Yeah, it seems like if I had read this book, it seems
Yeah.
easier.
But it can't, you couldn't do it.
I'm not,
So you can't go back.
yeah, it's the same book. And then they have those
It's written
questions
better
too.
for learners.
Yeah, and they even have those questions, but I don't think they kind of.
Is that a classification on book? You know how it says learner in the front?
Is there?
Down here. Is it like the kind of book you would look for next times? Which means that it's specific for the classroom versus like reading to your kids at home?
I don't know. Because this is really the same stuff
It
in there.
is the same book. It's probably a different edition. Wow. Did you know the illustrator was a Chinese person?
Yeah, I didn't notice until I was kind of looking at it, but I didn't.
Wow, that's cool. No, it doesn't say if this is a second edition. I agree. This would have been better, but you had what you had, kind of like, and I bet you did a really good job. Did your teacher say something to you about it?
Um, you so far they both know that it was three activities:
Yes.
the reading, and then they did the drawing of the little sunflowers that they were gonna plant sunflowers, and then for that the planting part it was like so called. I had to wait until like one of the kids were finished first,
Yeah,
and then
one
they
by
came.
one.
Okay, and then the ones that is that maybe those ones that need to wait to do the planting, they can do the free play.
Uh-huh.
So after the ones that were done, got their pictures taken and stuff, they went to play, and I get them one by one to come over. So when I was giving them the seeds part, I was telling them to pick the seed, but she heard me tell her to pick one or two. But I don't remember what I said, but like choose the seed. I think something like that instead of like pick how many. That part with the seed of like how many to pick was I don't remember what I said because I was still wearing face mask too. So yeah.
So did it turn out okay planting the seeds?
Because they did it before. I even told it during the so-called that little thing that even my corporate teacher said indicated in the meeting thing that they did it before for the Mother's Day, so
You're
they
right.
kind of already
They already kind of knew.
yeah.
That's okay. They could be reinforced. You don't always have to have something new.
So yeah, so like I didn't end up using the cotton balls.
What did you use instead?
I just used the little cup and the dirt and stuff and the
How
seed.
come you didn't use the cotton ball?
It seems like uh I was gonna use it, but like the first kid, she just wanted to like
Just grab the seeds and throw them in?
yeah.
Oh,
I had the cotton ball right next to the little cup and
yeah,
stuff, but
with water and stuff?
yeah, I had a little bucket of water in front of me over there, and then a cup for her to put the water in. And then one or two of the kids had poured too much water
Mm.
into the thing, into the little cup. Yeah.
So lessons learned, you could have had the cotton balls sitting in a cup of water and they could have just picked them up one by one
Or some
instead of having them pour the water.
I meant what they end up bringing home was still that little plant with the little seed, and it was water with some water. And then they had a little Ziploc baggie, and they wrote their name on their Ziploc baggie. And one of the kids had said, uh, the soil is gonna spill, so he just ended up writing on the cup instead. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's write your essay, your reflection. That's why I'm asking you, like, do you think it went well? See, were you okay with everything that happened?
I meant like what I felt when I did it. I felt nervous
Of course you did.
because it was that early in the morning.
Well, it's nervous because you're in front of the classroom and you're not the secondary teacher, you're the first teacher. Of course you would be nervous. Something would be wrong with you if you were not nervous, Mandy.
Yeah, I was nervous and then for that drawing part, I didn't really get to interact with them because like, yeah. I did see some of them start in the process of drawing it, and then
And then you had to pay attention to the other stuff.
yeah.
Okay, what do we need? What do you need to write? Evaluation. Is this yours on page 11?
It's the reflection and it starts on 12.
On page 12?
Yeah.
Okay. Reflection. Okay. Okay. What do you think went well?
For me, it seems like the whole thing, from my point of view, it kind I meant like the flow of it wasn't. It seems like it might have been a bit too much in some ways.
Quit criticizing. Tell me what went good.
It seemed
You
like
are always finding what went wrong. What went good?
it seems like I didn't really get any feedback from the kids this time around.
Okay, the flow of the teaching went fairly good.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Did it feel right? Did you feel comfortable reading to the children?
Yeah, because after that first time when I had that first lesson plan, that in the afternoon, I had read one of the books, and then those like few times I was there for the clinical, I've been reading books to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you felt comfortable reading the books to the students?
Yeah, since I have extra practice of reading it, and then that first time after that lesson plan, that book, that Curious George book, was like very interactive in some ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was one or two interactive books that I had gotten by given by the kids to read.
Uh-huh.
It was the way it was made it interactive in some ways.
Okay.
The interaction with the
So
kids.
did you use that big book with the look at the seeds and how the seeds grow?
For that one, what the proper teacher feedback for that one was so-called I didn't really explain why I showed the
Why the pictures of the seeds growing?
yeah. I
Okay.
didn't really explain that part that well
Okay.
and stuff. So yeah.
Okay. So let's write the flow of the teaching session went fairly good. I felt I'm writing you, felt comfortable reading the books to the students since I had practiced reading the interactive books on my own or before the class.
What?
Is that right? You felt comfortable.
Not really before meeting the class. It's like it was like after the so I've been kind of like reading books to them.
Okay. So you felt comfortable reading the books to the students. Period. How about as? Because I purposely selected books about the Earth Day and growing plants to share with the class. How's that?
Yeah.
Because I selected good books. The monthly topic of Earth Day and growing plants. And how about I prepared thoroughly for the class assignment, class lecture. This is where you get to say good things about you, Mandy, not just criticize what went wrong.
That's also part of
Okay.
it. Though.
I know I think it's important to say good things about you. You felt like it went okay, right? I know
Yeah.
when you left here Thursday, I had a feeling like you were confident that you were prepared for the class and you were ready for it.
Yeah, in some ways, yes.
Okay. And when you finished that learning plan, it sounded like you had figured out exactly what you were going to do and it was going to go really well.
It seemed like it did.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that.
And it seems like it reached that little time. Since it's 9:30 to 10:30, it seems like it reached to like 10:20 something.
That's good. So it went much longer.
Yeah.
That's good.
So it almost went the
You
whole
got
whole hour.
You kept the kids engaged.
I meant for that planting part they were doing free play, so like
Okay, I had planned 3 activities for the it was supposed to be a 30-minute session.
Yeah,
20-minute?
or 30.
Reading, coloring, and interactive learning about plants.
Mm-hmm.
The actual learning session was was 45 minutes.
I mean, it was almost the whole hour.
Almost.
Yeah, I think when I looked at the clock, it was like 10:20 some.
Thoroughly engaged in the activities. Did you have a teacher's aide help you?
I had all the teachers from last time.
Yeah, they helped.
What that one of the teachers that's at the head of the she was had to go to court that day, but she had to come in to help her. But she still went to her court thing. She came in and helped too.
Okay.
So there were like so-called
So
three
you didn't
teachers.
feel like you were on your own. You were supported.
In some ways, yes, yes.
Okay. Teacher aides, assistant students, and this allowed to focus on reading and interacting with each student to plant seeds. After we read 2 books about Earth Day. Reflective, I felt very supported. Okay. How about that? How will you provide feedback to your learners? How will you help your learners use the feedback you provided? Okay. What changes would you make? Well, you always have a list of changes. How did they provide the data you needed to? How did you know the students understood?
I met when they were doing the planting,
Yes,
they already know how that to push the little seed in.
okay.
And then after that, some of them the so-called they do know that they need to push the little seed in, and then put maybe extra dirt on top to cover it. It was kind of like a refresher for them since they already planted for Mother's Day, so they know.
Yeah. reinforced that exists previous lesson. And plant seeds and grow food garden. How's that? Does that sound right?
Mm-hmm.
Visit this activity for Earth Day reinforced this the previous lesson. Select. Okay, what else do you have to say? Okay. What changes would you make? One, get the newer edition.
But this is a learner
Yeah.
edition.
Next time.
But this is so it's the same book. The
Yes,
title is somehow different.
yes,
But it's the same book.
yes.
And I think the pictures inside was the pictures are the same. It's just the wording.
Okay, next time, what would you do differently?
I met I read that book,
Yes,
and then later that day I had read this book.
yes,
When I read this book,
to students?
yeah, read to they the pictures. There was the monkey, the animals that was in the book. Uh,
They liked it.
yeah, and then there was the elephant. And then the walrus. When they saw this page, they ran forward.
All forward because they liked all the images.
They ran towards me, and then some of the kids said, "Oh, I can't see, I can't see." So the most, and then most, yeah, went toward this is like the last page of the book, and then like those 10 ways to help the earth.
They liked it?
Yeah, and then when this uncle said, "Share the book," and then one of the kids said, "Oh," and then like coach, this is the same book, so
Okay.
and then the last one was like put my underwear in the freezer when it's hot. That was, I think,
Well,
it was
there you go. Never
they
thought
would have a lot of fun with this book.
they would. So what
But
I would
like,
do
I think
next
like,
time, I would read.
but like the way they interacted with this book, it would seems like for me it would be a bit too much for me to handle at that
Yeah,
time.
because you were trying to handle the class.
Yeah, so like, if I read this book during that little part, it seems that I would have felt like uh a bit too overwhelmed when I would read this
That
book.
makes sense because they were too interactive.
For this one,
Right.
in some ways.
So what would you do different about what like the comment about the big book on seeds? Would you have talked more about why you were showing the big interactive book?
That part is what she kind of said. I didn't really.
Okay, do you agree with that?
Yeah, because I kind of like so I opened the book
Yeah,
and
and you show the big
I kind
pictures.
of pointed it in some ways to those little
Mm-hmm.
that process, but I didn't really.
Explain it.
Yeah,
So next time.
that she said that part is like kind of what I struggled with.
How seeds grow. I would explain the large interactive image of the seeds growing.
And so close what she said, it was like I didn't really have that much of like Earth Day that in that lesson that day.
Yeah, you did. You read that book.
It was like so called like kind of like what I did wasn't really fully Earth Day in the concepts in some ways.
Did the teacher say that?
The cooperating teachers. Because so called she left the Earth Day for Earth Day to like learn about the Earth Day. So yeah. So I really think if I had read this book in some ways, and then
Okay.
like this as another
As a
book,
backup,
like
it might have been better.
I like maybe read this book and also this book, and then do that drawing and stuff. It
Okay.
would be in another way, and that book can also be there too. Like so far, I show 3 books would be another way I think, and maybe so called like if they said the the planting was bit too much. They kind of did say that planting seemed that it was a bit too much.
Okay.
So let's just maybe just do the drawing instead, and have Soko maybe show 3 books and like read 2 books and then show that book, and then just do the drawing of the sunflower.
Okay, let's write this down then. Like what I wrote is later in the day, I read a second Earth Day book for the students, which I would have selected
Yeah,
for
it was
the
very.
lesson plan earlier if I was aware that it would have been more content specific for Earth Day.
I mean, it does say those like concepts of turning off the water.
Okay.
We saw
This
the book we
book.
saw on Amazon.
Uh-huh.
It was that book. And they did do this little this earth thing with a little heart. They did the artwork of this earth, and it was hanging up in the classroom already. Oh, I could have like if I read this book instead, I have
You would have had a symbol reference.
because they did this on Monday,
Yeah.
but like the little heart was in the middle, and then like it was this stuff. It was like floating around on the ceiling already of this little earth. Kind of like said something about this.
So this is what I wrote. Later in the day, I read a second Earth Day book for the students, which I would have selected for the lesson plan earlier if I aware that it would have provided would have provided more content specific for what students can do at their homes to support Earth Day. And the 3 R's that you talked about.
Yeah, and then they did refresh it, the 3 R's that day too.
Okay,
Mainly read some birthday books after.
okay. So
Not
what-
really read, but like show
show
on YouTube.
pictures, yeah.
YouTube the
What else
books.
would you have done? What else would you have done differently? Do you think you wouldn't have been planting the seeds?
Yeah, I think that, but like it seems like the planting was a refresher for them.
Yes, so there was good value,
Yeah.
but would you do it again?
Um, I think so, but like that maybe can be for like another day if I can.
Okay,
But the drawing maybe still keep.
okay,
And then when I so called maybe when I there another day can do that planting with them. Something like that.
Pictures of flowers. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to say?
Um, mm, I think in some ways I kind of still say I read 3 books and then
Right?
not the really read maybe 2 books and then that show that and then just
Show the seeds.
show like have 3 books and then that drawing part.
Okay. So next time, I would recommend planting seeds on a separate learning lesson. It was enough to read the books and draw some pictures and flowers.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you think you need to say? That you would do differently?
I meant these 2 books are already like a different in some ways. I meant this is that book, but
Right.
a more simpler version of that book.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask the teacher, should I read this instead? Since it's the same book in some ways, it's just 1 or 2 less
It was less questions and words.
and then it has
It's
those
more
little
directed
bubbles,
to 2 or 3-year-old children.
have little bubbles questions there. But I'm not sure would they understand what those questions are asking
Okay.
in some ways. And then I did ask, like when I was reading, I did ask them some questions.
Uh-huh.
And apparently it seems that I was pausing for a bit too long.
Why do you say that?
Not me, my cooperative teacher. She saw it seems like I was
Your pace was not as good as she thought it could be.
so she saw that I was pausing a bit too much and it seems like it was and then said I could just have some questions as backup when reading.
Mhm.
Questions was also like part of the things that
So would you do anything different about that?
I mean it seems that I did ask questions in the
Yeah.
book. But not really that much. So called when I read the book, I had to finish reading, and then one of the kid had asked, "Oh, about the tree." This part
Mm-hmm.
about like how would they know which tree is a tree, and then they were answering their own questions here
Okay.
about it, and then I went to like do the big book part, and then the planting stuff.
Okay.
But,
So aside from you would not plant seeds in the lesson plan, but it was enough that you read the books and you did some drawing.
mhm.
Is there anything else you would do differently in the lessons? The different books.
It was really kind of like there is it seems that if I read a different book, it seems the interaction would be a little more too. Because for this one, they were like coming towards me.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that was a better quality book.
they were having fun with the animals here.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, they saw. I asked them.
This is a very nicely illustrated book.
Yeah, I was acting. I read the thing here, and then it said like there's an elephant here. Would you just? And then like they were laughing.
What's the elephant doing?
And then there's the monkey and stuff up here. And then when they saw the alien and stuff in the outer space and stuff.
They did. It's a really well done book.
And then they were saying broccoli and stuff.
Yeah, they recognize things.
Carrots. And then they said these little things could have been like some apples or something, like carrots or strawberries too. And then they saw these bunnies. Yeah.
So they really like this book.
Yeah, for this one, yeah.
Okay, so next time I would select books
And about
specific.
this polar bear here, there's a penguin or something.
Okay, what's the name of this book?
The Earth book.
Earth book. by Todd Parr was particularly recommended.
Even the thing on the back is a printed on recycled paper with non-toxic soy ink. That's what this book even said.
It is well written and illustrated. Okay, anything else you think you should do differently?
Yeah, I think this for sure. This
I
would,
just put it in here.
yeah. This book for sure would have been good.
Okay,
Yeah.
and anything else in your class planning session that you would do differently? You're not gonna do the planting of the seeds. You don't have to have anything else to add here. I just wanna make sure I put everything.
Yeah. I'm not sure about the so-called like with that drawing part. Would it be like with the directions more clear in some ways?
About what?
The directions for the drawing? Because they what they drew was like what they drew.
Okay.
They were able to draw whatever they really want of the plant. Like kind of like free drawing in some ways, but
Yeah.
like they know they were drawing up.
Would you have had something printed out on a piece of paper that they could have colored in?
But what I gave them was just a printer paper.
Yeah.
Just and then they
And you said color.
just draw and then they wrote their name on the paper too and then draw.
Would you have like a printed image of a flower so they can color the flower?
But for that one, it seems like won't really.
Or maybe you could have a medallion of the earth symbol.
Unless they did an artwork of it, like it was like up on their.
Did they already do that? Did they color in this
The
emblem?
little heart already was like floating up around. Like,
Did they already color this?
yeah,
Okay, so that would not be necessary.
that thing already was already floating up there.
That was pinned up on the walls?
It was like dangling down on.
Oh, okay, like an interactive thing?
Not really interactive. It's just like a
Well, just something
decoration.
hanging, a decoration from the ceiling?
Yeah.
Okay, so what if you had printed out this image here and had the students color that image?
That could have
Okay,
been too.
let's do it.
Maybe. Yeah.
Next time, I will have printed, what is that called? Images of the Earth Day planet logo with a heart, so the students can color in the areas for planets, water, and I love the earth. Okay. That sounds like a lot to say. Those are good things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what's the last question that you have? What do you need to do? Do you need to reteach this lesson?
I meant for. I don't think about like the Earth Day again on another day because Earth Day would you really learn about Earth Day.
Yeah, I know, but do you need to reteach it to reinforce something different?
I don't think so.
Okay. Is there anything else you think you need to add to this?
In the so-called when during the so-called the conference-ish thing, they have also said I could have like during that planting part have made it math also, like had a bit more other concepts in the lesson.
What other concepts?
So-called what I have right now is science, art, and the so-called language arts with the reading. Has like another concept which would be math for the counting.
What are you counting?
For so-called what they have said been the counting was the seeds,
For counting for what? 1, 2, 3 seats?
like or the steps, and the like the steps of like what do you do first and stuff.
Okay, what you could have done differently. Okay. Let's put a next time. Next time. In the separate planting lesson, I would reinforce counting with the seats. Okay. What, there's nothing further you want to do about reading the books and coloring?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It's really just asking questions.
Well, you're going to naturally ask questions. You didn't.
So-called like I did ask, but it seems like it was not that. I mean, like for when I read this book in the afternoon, I didn't really ask that many questions. I just pointed at pictures.
You did this book. What are you going to do differently if you're going to do something different?
I meant this book that
Okay, so also, what's the name of that book?
like last sentence is go green for Earth Day.
Also, recommend read the Go Green for Earth Day learner edition of the book. Who is the writer?
Um,
Written by, who's the author? What's their name? Lisa Mullard, and illustrated by XIA Zen. Give every Chinese person as much credit as possible. Okay. I think you answered all your questions here. You think there's something else you need to do on it? You want to sit and think about it more over the weekend?
the
I'd get rid of it. You're done so that you can get on with the rest of your studies. Don't you think?
yeah, okay.
You got it?
I think so.
Okay, submit it.
I'm gonna go to class.
Okay. Please submit it though, okay? Go to class. I'm glad it was a good experience.
Yeah.
I know you look at everything you did wrong, but I think you did more things right.
On that day, I even so wore a little shirt with a little earth on it.
Earth on it?
Yeah.
Awesome. You really did it. You rocked it. And those are good books. Where's class at?
The other building, the LWC.
Oh, the LWC building.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then it goes through the other building.
What time is class?
In a few minutes.
By the way, I keep thinking this mouse is gonna work. It's for my personal computer. For my
Oh, the tractor thing.
it's on my computer, not on this computer. Keep thinking it's gonna work and it's not. Yeah, I'm just pretending.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Don't stop.